Hello, everybody. Today we are talking about Sun in Taurus. This is not the easiest transit. Sun is in the grip of the eclipses and Rahu. And also, there's a kind of hidden difficult energy for the Sun as well, which I'll talk about. It happens, every year when the eclipse season is on, and as Sun goes into Taurus from 14th of May to 14th of June. We are experiencing both the solar and the lunar eclipses. So more about that. Hello, I'm Komilla Sutton, and we are talking about Sun in Taurus and the grip of Rahu and the eclipses. Do remember to subscribe, press the bell notification. I am going to be talking about the lunar and the solar eclipses soon, and so you don't want to miss that. So let us talk about Sun in Taurus. This is a complex transit. Once a year, Sun conjoins Rahu and the eclipses take place. So 14th of May to 14th of June, Sun is in Taurus and Rahu is in Taurus. Now, this is where Rahu is. That is what tells us where the eclipses are going to take place. And so Rahu is going to create the eclipses. And this year as well, we have the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse. So first will come the lunar eclipse on 26th of May. And it is late night, early morning in California, other areas. I'll talk about it in detail later on. Then there's an eclipse on 10th of June. This year, the lunar eclipse comes before the solar eclipse. So this usually shows that it is a more turbulent energy. We can see already pre the eclipse, there's turbulence in different parts of the world. India is suffering with COVID and the real spike of COVID, and there is, violence in Israel, and then there's violence also, a lot of unsettled energy in USA as well. So these are, when the eclipse season is on, we don't have control over what happens, and that is why individually we have to be very careful. It's a regular occurrence, so it's a part of our annual planning that this month is going to be eclipses and they are going to be unsettled. The Sun, which brings us light, gets eclipsed by Rahu, and therefore it is not able to give us the correct light, the correct knowledge. Our energy is disturbed, and Rahu is the big disruptor. So when Sun moves into Taurus, it is now under the influence of Rahu. And the Sun-Rahu conjunction is on 31st of May. It's not on the eclipse days, but on 31st May and 1st and 2nd of June, in the Navamsha chart, something very unusual is happening. Hidden energy is much more troublesome, I would say. And that is because Mars, Saturn, Sun, and Rahu are all in Gemini part of wherever they are. They're placed in different areas of the chart, but they are all in Gemini Pada or Gemini Navamsha. So this doesn't last very long, but it is definitely turbulent, and we should watch those dates carefully. And, as I said, Rahu is disruptor, but hidden, we see Mars and Saturn. So all the malefics are gathering together in Gemini Navamsha. And so that is a very key factor. Then as far as the eclipses are concerned, on 26th, 25th night, 26th is the lunar eclipse. And the lunar eclipse is actually not in Taurus, but it is in Scorpio. It is opposite to the sun, but sun is involved in it, because it's a full moon and sun is part of the eclipse, and sun is with Rahu and moon is with Ketu. And I always find that when lunar eclipses are taking place, wherever they take place in the world, whether we are visible or not, there's some kind of emotional, unsettled energy. So, we can feel disturbed, worried for no reason. And if you know that the eclipses are there, then you are taking some balancing action. And then on 10th of June, there is the solar eclipse. Now, this eclipse is actually visible not visible in most of the world. But the eclipse day, one day before, something kind of strange you feel. And over the years, I've learned to keep those days simple, not to overdo things at that time. So that is an important factor. And so on 10th of June, the eclipse is in Taurus, and Mercury is conjoining the sun. So therefore, Virgo and Gemini, they can feel extra burnt out energy. Mercury is retrograde, but it conjoins the sun, and there is the solar eclipse. So solar eclipse in Taurus, if your birthday is around 10th of June, then it will affect you. But as far as, countries are concerned, if your country ascendant, like in India's ascendant is Taurus, the 1947 chart. So this eclipse is quite directly connected to India's ascendant, even though there's an older India chart. That obviously India wasn't formed in 1947, but it seems that that chart is getting hit just now, and it is affecting. So it is important to stay calm and to be cautious. I feel that during this turbulent time, it is important to be cautious. And it's everybody will get affected by it, even though maybe a Leo, Cancer, Taurus, Scorpio are more affected, but don't feel that you are not going to be affected. And especially around the times that the eclipse is taking place, then you are keeping your life simple, being careful about what choices you make. And if there's an urge to do something urgently, then avoid doing it. Wait till after this eclipse season is over. You feel kind of as if some energy has cleared. The sun has to move into Gemini, and then that is the most important factor. Actually, the sun going into Taurus is quite an auspicious day, because the sun is moving on Akshay Tritiya day. And this is auspicious, and number of people have asked that when sun moves out of the Tritiya, then is it still auspicious? Yes, Tritiya Tithi is very auspicious. And because it is Tritiya Tithi, and the sunrise at the time of Tritiya, sun is still in Aries, and then that Sankranti going into Taurus is important. And I would say that meditate on that Sankranti. Think about something important you can do, something you can, let go of the old things and have a kind of meditative time to plan what you're going to do in this next month, which is full of the eclipses and Rahu conjunctions and hidden challenges as well. And then the next Sankranti, which is on 14th of June, it's about thinking, okay, I have dealt with it. It has moved on. Let me leave those things. Let me calm myself down. Let me bring myself into balance and move into the Gemini Sankranti. So how does it affect you? Aries, Of course, Sun is in the second house of money, finances. Rahu is there. Be careful about your finances. Eclipse time is not a time to make big decisions or big payments, so be extra cautious of it. Taurus, of course, the eclipse is taking place in your ascendant or moon sign. So this can show some change, whereas you are not necessarily like change. So be prepared. And it's not going to happen on the eclipse day, but certainly around the 10th of June. And then the earlier eclipse on 25th is more connected to partners and spouses. So they may be also going through some changes. And change doesn't have to be negative. It's just that during this time, we should avoid doing anything. Gemini, of course, this is in your 12th house of expenses and money, and especially around 10th of June, you watch out because there is a conjunction with the sun and eclipse, and Mercury is involved in the eclipse. So, you should be careful with expenses, but also efforts you're making. You may not be rewarded, but I feel you'll get rewarded anyway. So just keep calm. I did make a video on Mercury in Taurus and Gemini, so do check that out. Cancer, of course, moon is involved in the lunar eclipse and in the solar eclipse. So Cancer always are vulnerable and sensitive around eclipse time. So, it is to watch out for it. And the eclipse is in the 5th house, the lunar eclipse, and in Scorpio. And so 5th house can be about children, about creativity. You may feel, I'm not feeling lucky just now because eclipse may be blocking something. So doing some, meditation, prayer, mantra, japa during this would be good so that it can remove the blocks. And usually prayer is to Lord Shiva. That would be the best prayer to do. And the other eclipse, the solar eclipse, is in the 11th house of money, and that is where sun is going. So earnings, and I would just say that if you're getting an opportunity to earn and it appears too good to be true, be very careful. Don't make any big financial decisions, and especially about earnings, profit around this eclipse period, 1 month. Leo, of course, sun is in Taurus. It's in your house of career, but it's also eclipsed. And the eclipses are taking place in your 10th, 4th house. That means career and home are the areas that are under scrutiny, changeable, unsettled. So usually sun in Taurus is a very good transit for you. Whereas this year, to be cautious, careful, the keywords, and keep yourself calm. Don't exaggerate, or if you feel, oh, I can do it, I don't care. Because sun is ego as well. And so try to be humble and wait for this transit to pass. Virgo, sun in Taurus is your 9th house, and Rahu is there, and the solar eclipse is there. I think the solar eclipse on 10th of June is the most important one because Mercury is combust, absolutely tight conjunction with the sun. And it is also, with the eclipse. So there's some very unsettling, unsure energy around that time. So we don't know how these energies manifest. So the point is this, to be careful. Mercury will turn retrograde during this time as well. And then we have this combustion and eclipse that Mercury is involved with. So take it carefully, and don't make any sudden decisions. And I think most important is that don't listen to every advice. Be analytical, and after the eclipse has gone, after Mercury has gone direct, then make a decision. Libra, Taurus is your 8th house. 8th house is unexpected transformations. For part of this journey, Venus is also there, but Venus doesn't conjoin with the Sun. And do watch my Venus video as well. I made one on Venus in Taurus as well. But the lunar eclipse is in the 2nd house of money. The solar eclipse is in the 8th house. Now, 2nd and 8th house are also your money and your spouse's money or your partner's money. So 2nd house, where the lunar eclipse is taking place, is connected to your savings, your money. The solar eclipse, 8th house, being house of transformation, is also the house of your spouse's or partner long-term relationship money. So this eclipse link can be that you are having some issues, and better not to try to resolve it in this time. Wait till the transit is over, and then you have more clarity about what you want to do, where you want to go. Scorpio, the Sun is in your 7th house of relationship, partnerships, and this is not the easiest time for you, because the lunar eclipse is in your ascendant, and then on the 25th, 26th, and then on solar eclipse on 10th is in your 7th house. And at the same time, Mars is going to go into Cancer, which is not its strongest position. So if you can, wait, eclipses are showing that you are going through some personal transformation and change. And as I said in the Taurus section too, that change doesn't have to be negative. Only thing is that what time we make the change. It's always better to wait after the events to make any decision. And the eclipse energy is still one more eclipse in Scorpio yet to come in December. So it is maybe such a long time, but better to wait. Sagittarius, the Sun is in your 6th house. Now, Sun is a good planet for you. It deals with good luck, opportunities. However, when it is in the 6th house, then you feel blocked. You feel there competition or opposition, or people are getting aggressive towards you. So best to not fight. Yes, you have to stand your ground, but this is not the time to escalate any dispute. I would say that is the most important thing. And, Jupiter is not involved in the eclipse, your Lagna Lord, but the eclipses affect everybody. So best to stay calm, zen, and, think, okay, this is not the time to show any aggression. Wait till afterwards. Capricorn, Sun is in the 5th house. 5th house is house of children. It is the house of ideas, higher mind. Sun is there. Sun is not the best planet for Capricorn. However, Sun is the monthly clock. So where the Sun is going every month, it's showing you that's the area that is highlighted for you. And because the solar eclipse is there on 10th of June, and then there's a lunar eclipse in area of money for you on 25th, 26th. So these are the two areas that are highlighted. And I would say that it is better to take one step at a time. And of course, for Capricorn, because Saturn is visiting you in Capricorn, caution is good. And Saturn will turn retrograde on 23rd during this transit as well. So things are not in so much balance. And if you are aware of that, you can actually bring balance to yourself. Aquarius, eclipses in the fourth house. So I think there's some change regarding home. Sun is going there, and you may be thinking, what should I do? How should I work with that energy? And the lunar eclipses, 10th house, career, professional life. I would say that 4th and 10th house are where the eclipses are taking place, and this story will not be fully revealed to you till before the end of 2021. But right now, as the time is a bit turbulent, you just take some steps to be cautious. And because Saturn, your Lagna Lord, is also, or your moon lord, is also going to turn retrograde on 23rd, you are taking this time to be cautious. Pisces, eclipses in your third house of self-effort, and ninth house of learning, higher mind. So the solar eclipse, the sun, because we are looking at the sun, third house, what are you going to do? Self-effort, pushing yourself forward. Again, at this stage, better to err on the side of caution and not really make changes or drive yourself. Just stay where you are. I think that's for the time being. It's not very long. It's for a month. The lunar eclipse is on your ninth house. So ninth house is higher mind, ideas. Be careful of advice you get around the eclipse time. Sometimes people can give you some false advice during the eclipse. So be conscious of it. Jupiter's out of the eclipse, so that is one good thing. So that is it. Thank you very much. All the best. Do remember to subscribe, press the bell notification.